Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, where we'll be discussing the new Eurofins product certification program. My name is Jennifer Caveney, and I will be facilitating today's presentation. So let's go ahead and get started. I have the pleasure of introducing our moderator today, Daryl Sullivan. Daryl Sullivan is a globally recognized expert in infant formula and dietary supplement analysis with over 40 years in lab testing, method development and validation, and regulatory compliance. He represents Eurofins in major scientific forums and has authored over 75 publications and scientific presentations. Daryl, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Jen, for that kind introduction. I'm very pleased to be joined today by two other very experienced Eurofins scientists. We have with us Jeff Stassi, who is Senior Analytical Services Manager with Eurofins Food Chemistry Testing. Jeff brings nearly 44 decades of experience in lab operations and method validation. He works with dietary supplement brands and manufacturers to create a cost-effective, risk-based approach to testing that meet all of the scientific and regulatory requirements. We also have Laura Kilman with us, who is the program manager for product certification. Laura is a biotech and regulatory expert who manages product certification programs at Eurofins. With a strong background in project management and stakeholder collaboration, Laura brings a results-driven approach to innovation, efficiency, and industry impact. So many of you know Eurofins for our expertise in analytical services. We've been providing these services for 100 years for food and dietary supplement companies, testing quality and safety of products. Our reputation is built on trust and unmatched testing expertise. And we have a comprehensive testing portfolio across a broad range of different testing facilities. While we have provided testing expertise for both quality and safety for dietary supplements for many years, many of our customers asked us, could you help us with product certification? So today I'm pleased to tell you that the answer to that question is yes. And we're going to give you some details today about our new product certification programs and how you can work with us in achieving these results. So let's go ahead and get started. I will turn the podium over to Jeff Stassi, who's going to talk about what is product certification. So Jeff, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, Daryl. Appreciate the intro. First of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about what is certification in general. Certification is an independent third-party attestation that a product or process meets a predetermined set of quality, safety, sustainability, performance, or other standards. So in this context, obviously, there's a lot of industries that use certification for products, like appliances, paint, electronics, things like that. Obviously, today we're here to talk a bit about the Eurofins certification program as it relates to dietary supplements, conventional and functional foods and beverages. To take it one step further, there is also an accredited certification, which is really an attestation that the certification body conforms to, a particular standard as well. So really, it provides the assurance that the certification body actually knows how to perform and follow all these standards. These are independent functions between laboratory and the certifier. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how product certification works in the following slides. So what is product certification? Product certification is a process by which a third-party certification body verifies that a product is assessed for conformance to specific quality standards. With dietary supplements, conventional and functional foods, the standards are set here in the bottom panels here. using for dietary supplements, NSF ANSI 173. For conventional and functional foods, there's a Eurofins P101 standard, and I'll talk about these in the following slides. Also, we have a Clean Sport Certified program put together as an add-on to these two certifications that is supported by the True Shield certification. Some of you may be familiar with NSF ANSI 173 standard. This standard has been around for a number of years. It's a public standard designed as an evaluation tool for analyzing dietary supplements. You may be familiar with this in the retailer programs use NSF ANSI 173 as their benchmark standard. It's a lengthy document. It's got a lot of detail to it. A very recognized standard. So that, adhering to this standard is really what we're looking for the certification. NSF ANSI 173 was developed with technical guidance from industry. So a lot of different collaborators developed this standard. This was not just a kind of a write it down process. This took a lot of forethought, and detail put together. It really provides a lot of criteria for determining that the GMPs were followed with all the processes that were there to produce your products. Provides test method and evaluation criteria. So if you look at the standard, it talks about specifications, it talks about method performance. It's a very extensive document that talks a lot about the testing and the overall evaluation process. It also defines contaminants, adulteration, and adulterants, things that are highly focused for a lot of the retail programs that are out there, and also the certification programs focus highly on safety and adulteration. And then we have Eurofins P101 standard. This is an internally developed protocol, really designed around ANSI 173 as well. You see a lot of similarities. Later on in the presentation, I'll have a little bit of a kind of a graphic that shows the context between P101 and NSF ANSI 173. This is really designed around as an evaluation tool for conventional and functional foods. So albeit a lot of similarities with the products and the design of the program, it's the nuanced toward many of the products that are not traditional dietary supplements. Also, I will say that the internally developed standards certainly follow NSF ANSI 173, also provides evaluation tools for, methods and contamination, as well as all the other aspects of NSF ANSI 173. And then there's a Clean Sport certification as well that we are offering, just rolling out as we speak. It's really coming out brand new, a Clean Sport certification. This is really an add-on to the certification that you may be going for with the dietary supplement certification and or the functional food certification. So it is an add-on to that certification. We are partnering with True Shield Certified to expand the banned substance screen, offering 400 compounds that meet the World Anti-Doping Agency criteria, as well as the requirements of other sports organizations. So a very comprehensive list of compounds we test to adhere to those requirements. There's risk mitigation for athlete-specific products, targeting adulteration, contamination, and quality concerns. So this partnership is something that we really value and know that if you're adding on to the sports certification to your certification program, it's to the highest level of quality standard that you can get in the industry. As I mentioned, here's a picture of the criteria for NSF ANSI 173, Eurofins P101, and then the sport certification add-on. The accreditation, as you see on the left panels, here are the requirements that come with these standards, accredited third-party GMP to CFR 111, 117. There's a formula review. Also, content claims testing, similar to some of the programs you're probably used to with retail programs, heavily focused on safety, adulteration, bad substances. So a lot of these components are probably something you're doing as well in some of the traditional quality programs, but it takes it to a whole nother level with these certifications and overall standard requirements. So you can see those there. A lot of these overlap a bit. So if certainly speak to us and talk to us about designing the program for you as well. So why does product certification really matter? I mean, there's certainly, if you're going to embark on this, and hopefully you'll discuss with us how we can help you get your product certified, but there's probably 5 or 6 different components to why this really matters. And one is it really provides a competitive advantage. If you're testing your product and you have the certification, you can set yourself apart from a competitive standpoint as to showing that your product has been tested, it's trusted through the market. You also will receive some increased market access. Retailers will recognize standards to NSF ANSI 173. These programs, like Amazon, will adhere to some of these programs as well. So if you get the certification, it provides you some market access that you may not otherwise see. Brand protection, again, this goes from the GMP all the way through the process control to raw materials to finished products. So it really helps you understand where the quality issues may lie, and certifying a product will show you that your brand has gone through all the rigorous processes that you're looking for. Customer trust, I think from a consumer perspective, consumers really trust certifications. Certainly as a consumer myself, you look at some products out on the market, you see they've been certified, and I think that brings along some level of credibility and quality to the products that you're manufacturing. And again, they will meet retailer requirements as well. So access to markets like some of the major retailers, online retailers that are out there, will recognize these standards. So testing to these standards and getting certifications along those lines is a very important aspect of these programs. I'm going to kick this over now to Laura to discuss a bit more about the product certification process. Laura?
Thanks, Jeff. Now that we've covered how product certification enhances quality programs, let's turn to what the certification process actually looks like. Hi, I'm Laura Kilman, Program Manager over Product Certification here at Eurofins Assurance. In the next few slides, I'll walk you through the key steps of the process so you know exactly what to expect when partnering with Eurofins as your certification body. From intake to final decision, each step is designed to ensure your product is evaluated thoroughly and in alignment with program requirements. Eurofins Assurance will coordinate closely with your team and contractors throughout. To get started, the client submits some intake forms, which initiates a label review. This review informs a custom quotation tailored to the products that are seeking certification. From there, Eurofins Assurance will work with each of our clients and/or their contractors to solicit the product formula and supporting raw material specifications required to perform the necessary assessments. From there, the documentation collected will be reviewed against the applicable standard to develop an evaluation plan specific to your product's formulation and its intended use. With the evaluation plan in place, our partners in the laboratory take the lead in executing the required testing. Product samples needed for analysis are ordered directly from the contractors who manufacture them, and testing begins promptly when they are received. Test results from the evaluation plan are reviewed to assess the product's performance against its label claims and assigned risk subcategories. If a product lot is also being submitted for sport certification, the banned substance screening results would be considered at this stage. The final step in initial certification is the decision to offer or deny certification to a product. This decision is based on a comprehensive review of the assessment results against all the applicable program requirements. It also includes the preservation of all records generated during the assessment, supporting some continuity in future certification cycles and manufacturing audits. If a product encounters an out-of-spec result during this process, our failure resolution process offers a brand confidential and constructive paths forward. Brands will have the opportunity to identify the root cause and correct any nonconformities before proceeding. And as a part of our ongoing compliance support, the program includes an annual product review based on the established evaluation plan, along with an on-site product manufacturing audit for each contracted site supporting the product. Together, these elements provide brands with a reliable framework to meet industry requirements, consistently and without disruption. Before you begin evaluating your products for certification, we start by collecting a few key documents. In this initial step, it helps us understand your product, its production environment, and the scope of the certification you're pursuing. To receive a quotation, all we need is a representative label for each product you'd like to certify, an accredited third-party GMP certificate for each facility involved in its production, and a clear indication of the scope requested, whether it's NSF ANSI 173 or Eurofins P101. If you proceed with certification, we'll request the full product formulation, including the raw material specifications or certificates of analysis where applicable. If your label claims were generated using nutritional calculations, those can be submitted at this stage well. We know that organizing documentation for certification may be time-consuming, especially when multiple products and certification scopes are involved. So to help ease that burden, our team provides some project coordination for each certification project. With Eurofins as your certification partner, your brand will be supported with strategic tools to simplify the process, reduce delays, and ensure a smooth path to certification. We begin with an engagement call and pre-screening of all applications to help identify any potential issues early in the process. This step really supports efficient project planning and helps mitigate any delays that we can help. We take an active role in coordinating directly with your manufacturers, whether they're there to pack, blend, or any other partners that you need, and to gather the necessary documentation and samples. This helps ensure timely and complete submissions. And then finally, we maintain a secure, organized repository for certification-related records to support the confidentiality, traceability, and audit readiness for each product. A proprietary software platform is planned for 2026 to further enhance the secure collaboration between clients and their contract manufacturers. And together, these services demonstrate our role as a certification body committed to facilitating a clear and efficient certification process.
Thank you very much, Laura, for that comprehensive overview of the certification process. And thank you, Jeff, for the great background that sort of sets the stage for our conversation today. So what did we learn? It's clear that certification builds trust and compliance. It demonstrates that the product meets key standards for quality, safety, and performance for both consumers and retailers. Eurofins is offering one platform with many standards. We have the Eurofins P101, we have the NSF ANSI 173 for dietary supplements, and we have the Clean Sports Certified add-on that Jeff told us about today. Eurofins has always had formed strong partnerships with our customers. In the certification process, the Eurofins team will work closely with brand owners and manufacturers for a streamlined experience to achieve the Eurofins product certification mark. Our expertise will be combined with a great deal of experience to provide efficiency in this certification process. With our deep industry tenure and wide-ranging services, the robust lab network within Eurofins will be able to deliver a rapid, dependable, robust, and scalable solution for the challenge that's facing us. For those of you that are attending Supply Side Global, we'd love to connect and talk with you more about the product certification. Our booth number is 4231. Please feel free to stop by and have a chat with us. There's also a link on this slide where you can set up an appointment to specifically talk with one of our experts and learn more about the process or the background on product certification. So Jen, I think we had some questions come in during our presentation.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Daryl. And thanks, Jeff and Laura, for the very thorough overview. So we do have a few questions from the chat. So Jeff, this first one is for you. How does the Eurofins product certification mark compare with other product certification programs?
Excellent question. So when Eurofins was deciding to kind of go down this road of, getting involved in certification, we did not just want to be another option as a certification program. We got a lot of feedback from industry about, the cost of the programs and the length of time these things take. So we decided, we wanted, if we were going to get into this particular type of service, that we needed to differentiate ourselves from other certification programs. So, what we just, challenged ourselves with was to produce a what I would say a cost-effective solution. I'd say we're probably about 25% less expensive than other competitors that are on the market. So hopefully that will create some interest as well. We're at about a 40-day turnaround time as well. I've heard feedback that some other programs may be, as much as 100 days plus in some of these turnaround time as well. So, those are two big key factors as in us getting into this, is the efficiency of which we can produce the testing and the program, as well as keeping the price competitive and low enough where we felt like we could create some space in that market for folks who thought this might be just a little bit too expensive a venture. So I would ask that you certainly discuss with us how this might fit into your budget and your plans. You may be very surprised and pleased that some of these programs may not be as expensive or as timely as you think they may be. We also offer a much more comprehensive screening of these banned substance compounds. We do 400 plus compounds versus the 280 or so other compounds that other solutions, other competitors may bring to the table. We also will allow that GMPs from any certifying body. So, we are not, forcing anybody to use a Eurofins GMP service. If you've recently done a GMP audit and you have all the documentation and eligibility requirements, we're certainly open to taking those as well. So we feel like those four things may, as well as our brand, we bring a wealth of knowledge, brand reputation, and as a worldwide company. So a lot of the value we bring is with those aspects of the program, I would say.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. Laura, the next question we have here, I think would be for you. What happens if the product has a failing result or doesn't meet one of the requirements during the certification process?
Oh, that's a good question. So I think one of the most intimidating pieces about stepping into something new is feeling like you're not 100% certain what the outcome may be. And I feel like our failure resolution process is truly set up to make sure that a brand is perfectly positioned to investigate what was found within the testing and evaluation and identify what they can do to implement an improvement within their supply chain or their formulation. So what we will do is assess the product at the end of its evaluation and review where the noncompliance lies and suggest a handful of options that would help a client resolve the failure. and then leave it to them to identify exactly where they need to make changes to meet the standard requirement. So within those things, what we're set up to do is help a client support some continuous improvement within their own brand and remain compliant with the program.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Jeff, we have another one here for you. How is this program different than other retailer programs, say such as Amazon?
Another excellent question. So I've been involved in the Amazon program from day one, among other retail programs. First thing I would say is, I wouldn't necessarily bucket this as a retail program. This is what I would say is a product certification. So really, the way I would kind of explain the difference is, Amazon, as much as, and other retailers, as much as I appreciate what they've done to elevate the level of quality, processes and procedures that have to go into, allowing sale on some of these platforms. And it certainly has, eliminated a lot of the, poor products that maybe, getting out to the consumers. A certification program takes this to a whole nother level. This really goes really deep into the process control, the GMPs, and ensuring you're following GMPs, dealing with label formulas, raw materials, ensuring that you're doing all the right things as it relates to the processes and testing programs that go from, beginning to the consumer. So it's a very comprehensive model in certification. I think the biggest difference is, you can choose what products you want to certify. This is not, all or nothing kind of a scenario. If you want to get involved and you want to certify a couple products that you feel like could benefit from a certification, certainly you can delve into that as well. So it's really customizable to what you're planning to do with the product, how you may position the product. So I think there's some big differences, also some similarities, don't get me wrong, but I think the big difference is it just takes this to a whole nother level of quality and safety, when you have a certified product, and then all the benefits that come with that, in marketing and sales of the product.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, well, I just want to say again, thank you so much, Daryl, Jeff, and Laura, for the presentation today, and really just want to extend a thank you to everyone who has attended. We really would encourage you to reach out with any questions, and we would be happy to connect further to discuss this important and very exciting topic. This now concludes today's presentation. Have a great day.